Hello, my beautiful souls. The Awakened Dreamer here to give you your daily tarot reading for Sunday, April 10th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining me. And I do want to remind you, as always, this is general for the day for all 12 signs. So just take what resonates. And as well, of course, thank you in advance for your likes, comments, and subscriptions, your love and support on this channel if you haven't done so already. It is quite early here. You can probably hear the birds chirping in the background. But the overall message I channeled for us for this upcoming Sunday, imperfectly perfect, imperfectly perfect. And we're going to keep this one simple as guided by spirit by pulling, jumping right into the tarot. We're going to use the Mystic Mondays tarot deck for this one, okay? Being noticed right off the bat with the split deck, the Three of Pentacles coming into play and the Ten of Cups. All right, so being noticed for the fulfillment you desire or you inspire others to move forward with. Interesting. It's going to be one or the other, or for a select handful, it's going to be both. I feel as if people are noticing you on a social media platform or multiple. For some, it's more so in person, okay? Depending on what you get accomplished throughout the Sunday or what work is thriving. They're saying passively throughout this Sunday. Obviously, that would be more so what you previously developed. They're saying discovered as well. For Sunday, we're going to start by pulling one for each quarter of the day, and then we'll further speak upon the day with some extra tarot. Okay? Bear with me as I figure out which goes where. Okay, so we have the 4 cards here talking about each quarter, as I already mentioned. They're saying don't repeat yourself throughout this day. 8 of Pentacles to begin. So we begin this Sunday putting in a level of creativity towards our project, hobby, business, job, you name it, regardless of what this Sunday entails for you, busy-wise. I feel as if you're creating something. At the very least, there is a focus on what you have been working towards. Some of us being pushed to develop something new, interesting, being pushed to recognize that you're perfectly imperfect through your work, okay? To stand out in the crowd and to be proud of that, right? Whatever your work is for you. Being pushed to recognize that you have a lot of choices in this first quarter. You may be a little bit confused as to the options you have at this time. For some of you, you're thinking about a creative adventure or just an adventure in general, a leap of faith, if you will, down the line, and thinking about options so ahead of the game early on, to the point where it may not be easy to clarify in one's mind at this point, okay? Being pushed to recognize that your stripes are magnificent, and they're saying fabulous, excuse me, in your own way, okay? To own the stripes that you've gained over time. They're showing me 1 stripe per year of your life up until this point. To understand that the courage that you've gained over time, as well as the strength, is part of what makes you human, right? It's part of what makes you desirable. There's no need to be perfect in the eyes of others, but to expect to be viewed as imperfect, therefore understandably human, and imperfectly perfect all the meanwhile, if we put it all together. All right, there's a lot taking place within your career in this first quarter, even if you're not working towards it. Okay, something new you've done throughout this day, or it feels more the previous day, is working to your advantage. But we have the 2 of Wands coming out for the 2 of Cups, as well as the Death card. So you could definitely be thinking about or you are thinking about, excuse me, a connection that came to an end in the recent past when it comes to the second quarter. Not to overthink, not to fret. I feel like you're longing for a new connection and feeling a bit depleted as well in this second quarter. Thinking about mulling over an ending you desire all the meanwhile. It just feels like you're thinking about an ending from the past, an ending you desire now and one you know is inevitable in the future. Longing for so much more as things feel like they're spiraling upwards for you, but all the meanwhile you want it to be spiraling in a different direction, right? Towards a new move of residence, a new level of love, a different kind of connection in your life, or just with the same person. It's going to differ from case to case what category of life is so heavily on your mind at this point, but it feels like to an extent a specific connection and or connections in general will spark a thought or a couple within one's mind, okay? Being pushed to recognize when it comes to love, when it comes to romance, connections in general, even friends, in the eyes of your family, I feel the need to say as well, you don't need to strive to be perfect. And those who are meant to be in your life moving forward will accept you for who you are. Point blank, okay? It starts with accepting who you are on a soul level or who you're becoming, even if you don't have it all figured out. So therefore you set the tone within those connections. The Knight of Cups coming up for the third quarter. It feels like there is an underlying focus as you transition from the end of the first half to the beginning of the second half on what you want to go after. Bear with me. They're saying a little bit blind to the future. That's kind of why it happened that way. But yeah, a lot to look forward to. The Five of Cups and the Three of Cups coming out. And what was interesting is the Knight of Cups came out in reverse, and then I was told to put in the upright. So I really feel as if you're pushed to recognize that in the second quarter, where I thought this was going to go in the reverse position, where you feel this lack of motivation, even this lack of clarity as to how something's going to actually happen, how you're going to be able to go after something successfully. In the second half of the day, or the beginning of which, you start to gain a bit more clarity, even though you're feeling a bit doubtful, right? Hard not to focus on what's not working or what's imperfect within oneself, but also outside of you within a unhealthy or just awkward situation. Feeling as if you also are being very nitpicky when it comes to the work you're reviewing, looking back on, or even for some of you, it's more so your art or your creations in that sense. Definitely could be your career work. But I just feel as if you're pushed to recognize that part of you, and even spirit, right, depending on how spiritual your work is developed and put into your work, right? What you so happen to stumble upon, review, or just glance over at this point in the day, and need to recognize that all the imperfections have been admired by at least somebody, right? If you've gotten it out there, or would be in general if you were chose to publicly display your work. But I just feel like you're also being pushed to recognize that would you look at yourself, but you shouldn't at the very least examine oneself and be that picky when it comes to certain details, right? When being pushed to think in a positive manner, in an optimistic manner, and accept imperfections, and notice that there are a lot of perfect aspects when it comes to the work you're seeing at this point in the day. Allow for yourself to recognize that should teach you something or remind you something about how you examine and treat oneself. Another reminder of self-talk, positive self-talk, okay? Your relationship with oneself. And we finish up the day with the Hierophant. And so you make your way to wrap up the day, and there's a focus on change. A change within one's habits, a change you want to manifest, all right? Thinking about your world, how it's meant to develop, watering something, even if it's just simply your self-care. Thinking about how watering a financial opportunity is going to help you manifest what you desire moving forward. And I feel like a lot of you will recognize that a change you desire in the future outside of love and romance will help you acquire or attract, manifest once again a new kind of love, whether it's with the same somebody you're with or somebody new in general. However it's going to work for you. Desiring more control, feeling a bit boxed in this fourth quarter, and therefore desiring more change. Being pushed to think about your savings but not overthink it, and to wrap up the day after you do this healthy reflecting and honesty with oneself, and just relax, okay? I know that's easier said than done, but do expect for there to be a busy tone to the Sunday, but relaxing all the meanwhile. when I was beginning the reading and hadn't pressed record yet, they were making me feel as if, or saying to me that relaxation, calm, cool, and collected is the name of the game, right? That's going to be the key to you feeling that this is a healthy day in general. You could find that you just have a lot to accomplish in the upcoming week, and that could be on your mind throughout this Sunday. Thinking about all you didn't accomplish or have to, or had to rather, within this past week, as it is the last day of this calendar week. But just feeling as if some of us are thinking about how a situation is heavier in energy or in just in general than it needs to be, okay? Or expecting it to get to that point for one reason or another. Feeling as if due to certain heaviness, things are moving slowly. Feeling as if you just have a lot on your plate and a lot going on in one's mind. And so feeling as if it's a day where regardless of what you need to accomplish, review, reflect, you name it, you are going to be moving quite slowly. Accept it, embrace it. It's a Sunday, right? It's a day where you're not meant to or shouldn't have to feel obligated to charge forth so quickly, right? Be the peace, as the feeling in the air will feel very, they're saying confusing, but peaceful all the meanwhile. An angelic way about the day as a whole, or most of which, as you will feel like a bit of a wounded warrior, and therefore rest, replenish, do what you have to do, of course, be responsible and mature, but wrap this day up and realize it is a beautiful thing to be perfectly imperfect, and set that tone moving forward for oneself, all right? So I hope this was truly helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Go have yourself an amazing Sunday, and I'll see you next time. Bye.